All right, guys, here we go. Correct yours. If you got these wrong, then recorrect them and use it as notes for your makeup test. 16 people got an A, 3 people got a B, 4 people got a C, 8 people got a D, and 5 people failed this. So let's go ahead and get through this. I'm gonna go ahead and you can skip through to the problems that you missed personally. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's the right size. Okay. Number 1, if I was doing this, I would say I have an X term, I have an X term, I have a number term, a number term. I need to send them to different sides of the equation. I'll take the 4x and subtract it over here. So I'll subtract it over here. I'll make this my x's side over here. So then I gotta get plus 10 to send this guy over to this side. So plus 10 plus 10. And I get 2x equals positive 6. Divide by 2, x equals 3. All right, next problem. A couple of you guys did this pretty smart. You guys decided I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of the fraction, but when you multiply by 3, when you multiply this side by 3 and this side by 3, you have to multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 2/3, the 3 on the bottom gets rid of, and you get 2x. 3 times positive 4, a lot of you guys forgot that, was 12, equals 3 times 4/3 gets rid of the bottom, so we get 4x minus 18. Some of you guys messed up. You guys forgot to do that last bit of multiplication. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from this side, subtract 2x from that side. So the x's are gone over here, so I'll make the other side my number side, so plus 18. That gets rid of this, and I get 30 equals 2x. Divide by 2, x equals 15. I'm going to erase this and show you that it was possible without doing that step. Was possible without doing that step. So if I wanted to just do regular old, I'm going to take away 2/3 x over here, and I'm going to take away 2/3 x over here, so that these are gone together. Then 4/3 x minus 2/3 x is 2/3 x. I'll add the 6 to this side to get rid of it over here. So I'm going to add 6 to it, and it gets 10. To fight off 2/3, I need to multiply by 3 halves. 3 halves. 10 over 1. The 3 and the 3 cancel out, the 2 and the 2. And x equals 30 divided by 2, or 15. Same answer. So there's 2 ways to do it. All right, this guy, some people messed up the distribution. 3x minus 12 equals 18 minus 6x. All right, from there, maybe I'll add 6x over here to add 6x over here. That way the x's are gone, so I need the 12 to go plus 12 plus 12. 12 to go over here, and I get 30 equals 9x. I divide by 9, and x equals 30/9, or if I can divide both by 3, 10/3. All right, substitution. A lot of you guys didn't tell me both answers. Whenever there's an x and a y, you have to tell me both. If the y is equal to 4, then I can plug in 4 up for y, and 4 equals 3x plus 1. I'm going to subtract 1, 3x equals 3, so x equals 1 when I divide by 3. And y equals 4. I need to say both of them. And I can write that by x is 1, y is 4. I put it in x, y coordinates. A lot of you guys didn't give me both answers. Okay, so if y is equal to 2x minus 10, then I can take this y out of the equation and plug in 2x minus 10, because y is 2x minus 10. So 2x minus 10, I can subtract 2x over here, so I'll subtract 2x over there. That gets rid of the x's on this side. I'll subtract 5 here, I'll subtract 5 there. That gets rid of the 5 on this side, and I get 5x equals negative 15. I'll divide by 5, x equals negative 3. Okay, if x equals negative 3, I got to plug it back into the equation. Y equals 2 times negative 3 minus 10. y equals negative 6 minus 10, y equals negative 16. So it was negative 3 comma negative 16. All right, number 6. If y is 2x, then I can take out this y right here, and I can plug in 2x. So 3x plus 2 times, I'm taking out the y and plugging in 2x, equals 14. 3x plus 2 times 2x is 4x equals 14. 7x equals 14, x equals 2 once I divide by 7. So if x equals 2, I go back to the top. Y equals 2 times 2, y equals 4. The answer is 2 comma 4. All right, we're getting to the elimination ones. Okay, I need a positive to fight against a negative. So I see that I got a positive and negative here. So I'm just going to multiply everything by 3. You could have multiplied by negative 2 to get rid of the x's, but I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So 3x, negative 3y, and 3. And I'm going to do exactly what the signs say. This is positive, so that's 5x. Positive 3y and negative 3y get rid of each other. Positive 12 and positive 3 equals 15. Divide by 5, x equals 3. Okay, if x equals 3, then I still have that really easy equation right here. Let's see, I still have that really easy equation right here. X minus y equals 1. So 3 minus y equals 1. Let's see, well, you can tell that y equals 2 there. So the answer was 3 comma 2. Okay, in this one, everything's ready to go. We just need to make the bottom one negative so that the positive 6 on top fights against the negative on the bottom. So everything on the bottom is going to be multiplied by negative 1. So this 6x turns to negative 6x, 4y turns to positive 4y, 38 turns to negative 38. And now positive 6x and negative 6x cancel each other out. 3y and positive 4y is 7y equals 24 minus 38. The negative team is going to win by 14. So I divide by 7. And y equals negative 2. All right, now I'll go plug this into 6x plus 3 times negative 2 equals 24. So 6x minus 6 equals 24. I'm going to add 6, 6x equals 30. 6x equals 30. I'm going to divide by 6, and x equals 5. So this was 5 comma negative 2. Okay, number 9. Kind of a tough one because I'm going to have to do a lot of mixing. To get the x's to cancel out, I'm going to have to make the top, I'm going to multiply everything in the top by 3. So I'm going to make this 6x. I'm going to make this 15y. Everything 3 times bigger. On the bottom, I'm going to make everything 2 times bigger to get to 6. So there's 6x. There's negative 4y. And there's 20. Now, I do have to switch. I'm going to switch the bottom to negative so the 6 and the 6 fight against each other because the top's positive. So I'm going to switch this sign to negative. I'm going to switch this sign to positive. And I'm going to switch that sign to negative. Okay. So that these cancel each other out, and we get, let's see, 15 plus 4 is 19y equals negative 18, and negative 20 is negative 38. So I'm going to divide by 19, and y equals negative 2. All right, so I've got some ugly cancellations up here. If y is negative 2, I'll plug it into that equation. Let's see, 2x plus 5 times negative 2 equals negative 6. 2x minus 10 equals negative 6 plus 10 plus 10. 2x equals positive 4. Divide by 2. X equals 2. So the answer was 2 comma negative 2. All right, last problem on the front. It's a rearrange and solve with elimination. Okay, so I have the top equation, which is 2x. Ooh, come on. Let's probably zoomed in, not enough. 2x minus 3y equals 4. Okay, great. Now, the top equation is in x, y equal 4, but the bottom equation is in x equals number y. Okay, so I'm gonna need to put the y on the other side of the equation. Now, if I was gonna do that long ways, all I would do is say, okay, I'm gonna subtract 6x from this side, or 6y from this side, so I have to subtract it from over there. Another easy quick rule, and you get 3x minus 6y equals 3. Another quick rule is anytime, you can send anything you want, but if it switches it to the other side of the equal sign, you just hit switch the positive to the negative sign. All right, so now I've got 3x minus 6y equals 3, and that fits this equation. 3x minus 6y equals 3. Okay, so now they're in the right columns. I'm going to make everything in the top one twice as big. 4 minus 6 equals 8. Okay, I'm going to switch the signs. Negative, positive, negative. So the 6y's and this negative 6y's fight against each other. Okay, so I've got that's gone, and I get negative 4x, positive 3x is negative x equals negative 8 and positive 3 is negative 5. So if negative x equals negative 5, then x equals 5. I can divide by negative 1. And the negatives cancel out, and x equals 5. Okay, so if x equals 5, I'm going to take x back over here and say 2. If I zoom in too far out, it doesn't work. Okay. 2x minus 3y equals 4. But x is 5, so 2 times 5 minus 3y equals 4. 10 minus 3y equals 4. Let's see. Subtract 10. Subtract 10. Negative 3y equals negative 6. Divide by negative 3. Y equals positive 2. So the answer was 5, 2. All right, done with the first side. That was all the hard stuff. This stuff was kind of did you know it or you didn't know it. All right, number 11, is this a function? It's a function if it's a good video game rule. All right, this says if I do command 0, I know what I'm getting. If I do command 2, I know what I'm getting. If I choose to do command 3, I know what I'm getting, and if I choose to do command 4, I know what I'm getting. There's no repeats. If down here, if it said 4, I'm going to get command 1, then that wouldn't be a function because I wouldn't know what's going to happen if 4 happens. Is 0 going to happen or 1? So if these two were in it, then that would be not a function. But since I don't see any problems, there's nothing that gives me like misleading information, I know what's going to happen for each one of them, then yes, that is a function. Yes. Over here, if 0 happens, if I do option number 0, then the computer is going to do 5. If I do option 0, the computer is going to do 6. If I do option 0, the computer is going to do 7. Since I don't know what's going to happen if I do 0, this is not a function. I want to know, as a video game player, if I hit button 0, I know what's going to happen. All right, so that is not a function. All right, line A, we called something a vertical line test. If you were to graph these 3 points, they'd be right on top of each other. 0, 5 is like right here, 0, 5. I'm just going to put these on the graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 5 is right there. 0, 6, and 0, 7. You see how like they're all right on top of each other? Because they all try to say, 5, I'm the answer for 0. And 6 says, no, I'm the answer for 0. And 7 says, no, I'm the answer for 0. What that looks like on a graph is right on top of each other. So if you can run a test. If any points in your graph are right on top of each other, that is not a function. So for A, these are all right on top of each other. That is not a function. It's called the vertical line test. For 14, B, no, we're good. Everything's spread out. If I draw straight lines, nothing's right on top of each other. We're fine, that's good. And for C, if I draw a straight line like anywhere, I'm going to hit 2 spots. So I have 2 spots on that graph, on the circle graph, that are fighting over the same number. They're right on top of each other, so not a function. So it was yes, no, no, yes, no. All right, these next ones, you guys a lot of you came really close to your answers, but this is how easy it is. Down here, I even gave you the y equals mx plus b form on purpose. So all you have to do is y equals mx plus b. All right, what is b? B is called the y-intercept. B equals the y-intercept. That's where your graph hits the y-axis. It's where your graph intercepts. See how this is the y-axis? See how this red line and the black line run into each other? That's called an intercept. So where do they run into each other? At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my y-intercept is going to be positive 6. That's where my graph runs into the y line. Now I just got to do my slope. If I move from this point to this point, well, I move up 1, 2, 3. So I move up 3, positive 3. And I move over positive 1, positive 2. So this was positive 3 over positive 2. The equation was y equals 3 halves x plus 6. All right, 17. Same thing, y equals mx plus b. Let's see, I'm going to ask, where does my graph start? Where does it hit the y-intercept? Well, where does it intercept the y-axis? Down here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6. So I'm going to already start y equals mx minus 6. That's where my graph starts. Now I just need my slope. Let's see. If I go from this point to this point, I can move in any direction. But if I go from this one to that one, I'm going up 1. So there's 1. I'm going up 1, and I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going up positive 1, and I'm going over 6. A lot of people messed up the positive and negative. How do I know if I'm going up, or how do I know if it's positive or negative? Let's say I start over here at this blue dot and I move to the red dot. Let's say I start there and I'm moving from blue to red. It doesn't even matter where you start. If I'm moving from blue to red, to get there, I have to go 1 down. I have to go 1 down, and then I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 backwards. This would be negative 6. So either way, that would be negative 1 divided by negative 6 is still 1/6. So this way is forward, this way is backward, this way is up, this way is down. And you can tell on the graph, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Numbers get bigger this way. This is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Numbers get smaller that way. So wherever you start, just say, am I getting bigger or smaller? So that was y equals 1/6 x minus 6. This equation, if I say, okay, I'm starting here and I'm going to here, how much am I going up or down? Well, I'm going up or down 0, and I'm going over 1. So my slope is 0. Okay, so let's actually, I started a little fast. Where's our y-intercept? That's where we're normally starting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so y equals mx plus 6. And we figured out our slope was 0, so I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Y equals 0 times x plus 6. But 0 times anything is just 0, so it doesn't matter what x is going to be, so we can just get rid of that. 0 times anything basically eliminates it. So this is just y equals 6. And why is that the case? This point right here is 0, 6. This point is 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6. All the points in this graph, it's saying I don't even care what x is. That's why we're not even including it in the equation. Just make sure your y is 6. So these are all the points where the x changes, but the y is 6. That's why the equation is just y equals 6. All right. Finally, graph these ones. Okay, I'm going to start at negative 6, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. And I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. There's my line. This one, 20, I'm going to start at positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go down 2 over 3. Down 2, but get bigger 3. When I move sideways, I still have to move to the positive side. So notice they're going in different directions. The negative one goes down to the right, and the positive one goes up and to the right. All right, the extra credit. A few of you got it. Nice job. So points that go from 1,4 to 318. I would need to know what, if I'm trying to get their equation, I need to know what their slope is. Sorry, 18. I know that to go from 4 to 18 goes up 14, and to go from 1 to 3 goes over 2. So the slope goes up 14 over 2, so my slope is 7. So y equals 7x, that's where the slope goes, plus b. If I plugged in one point, either one of these points right here, like let's say this one, 4 is the y, equals 7 times 1 plus b. 4 equals 7 plus b. If I subtract 7, b equals -3. So basically what you had to do was you had to take your x term and multiply it by 7, but then you had to subtract 3. So let's see. If I take 1 and if I take this point over here, 1, 4. If I take 1 and multiply it by 7, I get 7. And if I subtract 3, I get 4. And if I take 318 and I take 3 and multiply it by 7, that's 21. And subtract 3, that's 18. So it works for both points. All right, so that was that one. Correct your paper. Good luck.